You open Netflix for 10 minutes. 2 hours later, you're still there. That was not an accident. Welcome to this explainer, where we are going to dive deep into the invisible forces keeping you absolutely glued to your screens. We're going way beyond the surface today to understand the intricate, billion-dollar mathematical systems that curate your entire digital world. Because the platforms we use every single day, they aren't just passively presenting options to us. They are actively predicting and steering human behavior. So today, we're going to expose the algorithmic mastermind that literally engineered your lost time, and we'll look at the exact mechanisms these tech giants use to keep your attention locked in. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the 10-minute trap. So every single seemingly innocent micro-interaction you make becomes a raw data point to train their machine learning models. You might think algorithms only know what you explicitly rate with a thumbs up, right? Actually, scratch that. That is a thing of the distant past. The system is tracking your implicit behavior now. Did you pause a movie halfway through and just never return? Do you tend to watch dark comedies at midnight on your tablet but stick to family shows on a Sunday afternoon on the main TV? Every scroll, every tiny hesitation, every rewind, it's all collected. It's this incredibly granular data gathering operation designed to map out your precise behavioral patterns. Moving on to Section 2, watching you watch. The really crucial point here is that if you and a complete stranger watch the exact same 15 shows, the system just assumes you'll both enjoy the 16th. This is what we call collaborative filtering. You see, the algorithm doesn't actually need to know what the show is about at all. It just knows that people who behave exactly like you ended up watching it. So by leveraging the data of millions of other users, the system can confidently hand you a recommendation that feels incredibly personalized, when really it's purely based on your mathematical proximity to other viewers' habits. And that brilliantly illustrates the other side of the coin, content-based filtering. Instead of matching you with similar people, this one matches you with similar items. Say you watch 3 nature documentaries in a row. That tells the algorithm to instantly flood your feed with similar genres, similar runtimes, maybe even the same narrators. The really advanced systems out there, like Spotify's for instance, they even analyze the actual audio features of a track, or use natural language processing to read what people are saying about the song online. When you combine that with collaborative filtering, you get this highly sophisticated hybrid recommendation engine. Which brings us to Section 3, the engagement engine. Let's see how all this builds a highly personalized funnel. If we look specifically at YouTube's architecture, they use deep neural networks to manage just an impossible scale of content. First, candidate generation takes literal millions of videos and winnows them down to a few hundred, based broadly on what you've watched and searched for recently. Then, a highly specialized ranking network takes those hundreds and scores them. It assigns a precise value to each video based on exactly how much watch time it expects to get out of you. It literally transforms millions of choices into a curated list of dozens in a matter of milliseconds. Now, these different algorithmic models actually manifest as the rows you scroll through on your TV. Think about Netflix. Those rows are absolutely not random. The Because You Watched row, driven by video-to-video similarity algorithms. The genre rows are ordered by a personalized video ranker, which blends your specific tastes with overall popularity. Every single horizontal row, and even the vertical placement of those rows, is mathematically optimized to catch your eye before you lose interest. And consumer research says that happens in just 60 to 90 seconds. Let's get into Section 4, maximizing the metric. Okay, if you remember nothing else, remember this. The goal of the algorithm is not to make you happy, it's to keep you watching. This is the ultimate paradigm shift of this explainer. Platforms suffer from what researchers call a proxy problem. They can't easily measure your human joy, your education, or your actual satisfaction, but they can definitely measure clicks, watch time, and subscription renewals. So they end up conflating your extended watch time with actual well-being. It is a subtle but absolutely monumental difference in how they optimize what you see. You see, these systems are essentially business instruments ruthlessly optimizing for specific financial goals, not your personal fulfillment. Netflix wants you to stay subscribed month after month, so they optimize for long-term retention. YouTube relies entirely on ad inventory, so they desperately want daily continuous watch time. Spotify wants to keep you engaged efficiently, minimizing the amount of times you hit that skip button. The recommendations you are seeing are mathematically engineered from the ground up to serve these precise corporate metrics. Moving to Section 5, the filter bubble effect. Over time, the algorithm creates a filter bubble, gradually narrowing your information diet. Because the system prioritizes whatever triggers the absolute easiest dopamine hit or the longest watch time, it just feeds you mainstream comfort, emotionally charged content, or viewpoints you already completely agree with. Your digital world fundamentally shrinks. The algorithm is just giving you more of exactly what you clicked on yesterday, which means your opportunity for genuine serendipitous discovery of niche or challenging content, it practically disappears. Because there is a massive structural flaw in the math here. Algorithms suffer from popularity bias. They safely promote what is already viral, creating a winner-takes-all system. Conversely, they face what's called the cold start problem. If a brilliant, obscure indie film gets added to the platform, it has zero user data attached to it yet. Collaborative filtering completely relies on historical data, right? So the machine literally doesn't have the math to recommend it to you. You could scroll endlessly without ever finding it, simply because it hasn't passed the algorithmic popularity threshold yet. And to ensure you stay comfortably inside this bubble, platforms employ dark design patterns. They combine these hyper-personalized recommendations with frictionless traps, things like infinite scrolling, autoplaying the very next episode before the credits even finish, and ephemeral stories that trigger a real fear of missing out. They're all deliberately designed to remove any natural stopping points. Your brain literally never gets a rest, making it incredibly difficult to actively decide to just close the app. The system is removing your autonomy by design. Which leads us to our final section, Section 6, Taking Back Your Remote. You have to remember that you are constantly, and I mean constantly, part of thousands of silent A/B tests. The system is adjusting in real time to figure out precisely which thumbnail makes you click, which layout keeps you scrolling, and which recommendation order stops you from canceling your subscription. Platforms test this offline with historical data, and then they push live tests to millions of users just to measure the most subtle changes in engagement. You are navigating a constantly shifting, highly optimized maze every time you log on. But here's the secret. The maze only works if you don't know you're in it. Now that you know how it works, you're in charge, not the algorithm. I really hope this explainer has empowered you to break the illusion. The next time you find yourself 2 hours deep into a scrolling session, just remember the math running behind the screen. You can choose to put down the endless scroll, search for something totally outside your bubble, and purposefully choose your next adventure. Thanks so much for exploring this with me.